Welcome to another video. My name is Stef. I'm a psychic soul alignment coach. What I do is I work with spiritual entrepreneurs to help them to do very deep levels of healing so they're able to powerfully align themselves with their souls, and as a result, they're able to have their highest level of success, influence, impact, and income. Okay? This video teaching comes directly from my Facebook community where I do free teachings every Wednesday on a topic that I'm guided to speak on. But I also do free teachings on YouTube on Fridays that my guides also want me to speak on. So if you enjoy this teaching, be sure to subscribe to my channel to receive more of these teachings on Fridays. But you can also receive other teachings from my Facebook community that I upload to my channel other days of the week, like usually Mondays or Wednesdays, okay? Hey Sai, how are you? Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Cool. So I'm going to get into this video very quickly. I'm going to try to say everything I need to say. And as I'm speaking, feel free to drop any questions that you may have, any issues you may have that I can support you with, because I'm always happy to support you. And we'll just go from there, okay? I answer questions and comments and stuff towards the end, and I like channeling everything because I stay in the flow, and also because it makes it easier to video edit afterwards. Okay, cool. So there are three things that my spirit guides really wanted me to speak on today in regards to this topic, which today's topic is all about how your lack of self-worth is keeping you from making your impact, okay? So the first thing that my guides wanted to speak on today is number one, a lot of times when you have self-worth issues that you need to take a closer look at, what will often happen is that you will make your success conditional, because if you don't feel a strong sense of self-worth inside of yourself, then what quite often happens is you then unconsciously or consciously sometimes feel that in order to get what you want, you first need to be something and do something to receive what you want. So this causes you to feel like you can't have whatever goals you want, whatever desires you want, until you become this person, until you have done these things. Does that make sense? And this only comes from the fact that right now you feel like you're not worthy right now. You don't feel like you're enough now to receive those things, right? So this is very common, especially in entrepreneurship, because a lot of people hold their success back thinking that they can't receive the clients that they want, they can't receive the amounts of money that they want until they first have a website, until they first have worked with people, because a lot of times when people are just starting out in online business, in online coaching, that kind of thing, they haven't yet worked with people, and so they feel like they can't get clients yet because they haven't yet worked with people. And so they need to work with people first in order to finally get clients. But then if you feel like you're not worthy of clients now, you're never going to get the clients to kind of get the experience that you need to keep moving forward. Does that make sense? It's like people keep themselves on this hamster wheel thinking, okay, here I am. I don't feel worthy right now. And in order to feel worthy, I need to have clients and work with them and help them get some kind of results so that I can help people. But I don't feel worthy yet of, the clients yet because I'm just starting out. And so I need to still work with people, but I don't, it's just like this kind of hamster wheel, this kind of trap that people get caught up on. And so this is what happens, is that you need to have a strong sense of self-worth in yourself. You need to know strongly inside of yourself that you are enough right now, that you know enough right now, that who you are is enough, in order to allow yourself to even begin making any action steps forward. And in order for you to even begin manifesting anything, even minimal, to move forward. Does this make sense? Let me know. So quite oftentimes, when you have a weak sense of self-worth, then you make the things that you want very conditional, and you feel like you first have to be more and do more in order to receive it. And one of the things that they had me speak about, or that they were channeling with me with, was that a lot of times, and this happens a lot, especially in coaching, is people feel like they can't have the success that they want or have all the clients that they want because they're not yet good enough now. They need to have more certificates after their name. They need to have more training. They need to have more experience. And so they feel like who they are right now in this moment, what they know in this moment, isn't enough. And they need to, gain more education or gain all this other stuff in order to have these things. Does that make sense? And every time you feel like you have to do these things or you have to become these things before you can receive, you don't allow yourself to receive. And that's why self-worth is so super important in this case, because you need to have a very strong sense of, but I know who I am, and I know that I'm worthy now, and I know that I'm good enough now, and I know that what I know now is good enough to help people move forward in these kinds of ways, and really own that, so that you don't keep holding yourself back and keep thinking that you still need to have more education, that you still need to do these other things or whatever it is before you can have. Does this make sense? So this is the trap that a lot of people fall into, but how you break free from that trap is really owning who you are, having a strong sense of self-worth, okay? The second thing that my guides wanted me to speak on today is how a lot of internal judgment about you being not enough causes you to have a lot of shame and guilt about yourself. And this is what holds you back from being your true self. So I've been speaking to people the last few days, and a lot of these people have certain things from their past that deeply impacted them, that on an unconscious level, a lot of times makes them feel like they're not worthy of what they want, because on this unconscious level, they're judging themselves. They're judging their past experiences. They're judging who they are, what they've been through, whatever it is. And so they're judging themselves, and they have a lot of like shame or guilt or insecurity with themselves. And this keeps them from really being able to come out and shine and share more of who they are, be more open, be more vulnerable, just to receiving in general. And so a lot of this internal judgment happens because people don't feel like they're worthy a lot of times, because when they were children, quite often they were made to feel like they weren't good enough. They were made to feel like they shouldn't shine, they shouldn't be seen, they shouldn't be heard. All of these different things have impacted their sense of self-worth, about how they feel about themselves. And until that stuff gets released, until that shame or that guilt or whatever it is gets released, they're going to continue to hold themselves back from being able to be more open and be more of who they truly are and share their own unique selves and their abilities and all the different things that make them with the world. So this is what needs to happen, is those past experiences need to be processed so that people feel worthy of just, shining their light and sharing their truth. And what happens is a lot of times in business, you need to be good with yourself, and you need to be good with your past, and you need to be good with your shortcomings, and just everything that makes you you. You need to be good with all of that so that you can allow yourself to receive clients, so you can allow yourself to receive opportunities and be able to make your impact. If you're not good with yourself on all the many different levels of you, then you're still going to feel like you have something to hide. You're still going to feel like, no, I'm not good enough to receive that opportunity or to receive these clients or to be this powerful leader, because look at all these different things from my past, or look at, where I'm still flawed, or look at, all of these different things. And so that keeps people from really being able to make their impact. And those things need to be healed and processed for people to feel like they're worthy now, and they're able to, just move forward now. Okay. So a lot of times in online business, the way for you to attract your ideal clients, the way for you to have the greatest level of impact, is you need to be good with yourself and everything that you've gone through and who you are, in order to be able to just share all of the parts of you, and not be ashamed of it, not try to hide it, this kind of stuff. Because when you share the true you, the raw you, people really connect with you. People really see you as a human being. They feel like you get their experience, or they can relate to you. They can trust you because you've gone through things and you have had certain insecurities or whatever it is. But if you're embarrassed in any way of your insecurities, your past experiences, your journey, or whatever it is, and you feel like all of your stuff makes you unworthy in some way, you're going to hide those things, and you're not going to allow yourself the opportunity to really connect with people on a deeper level, at the level at which you need to connect with people to gain their trust, and ultimately for them to want to work with you because they find you relatable, they trust you, they feel a connection with you. You know, they can't develop that connection if you keep hiding these parts of you. And so that's why a lot of this internal stuff where you're judging yourself or you're judging your past experiences needs to be healed, so that you realize that you're worthy of these things. You're worthy of what you desire, no matter what you've gone through, no matter your shortcomings, and you can be good with that, and you can just share that openly and vulnerably and be okay with that, right? So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people connect with me and stuff, is because I share like my things. Every time it's really interesting, because sometimes I see entrepreneurs online share something about, hey, what's one thing about you that people don't know? Or what's one thing, you know, most people don't know about you? And every time I see those questions, I'm like, what don't people know about me? Because I share almost everything. Like, I swear, there are so many things I've shared that I'm like, what haven't I shared yet? Because it's really hard, because I share a lot of things. I have no problem. That's me personally. And so, you know, that's what causes me to have such a deep connection with people, and why I've been able to build a highly engaged community and have so many friends, is because I share the raw me, because I've done a lot of healing work around a lot of my past and myself and my shortcomings, and I've been able to embrace more of that and be good with that and have peace with that, where I can be open about that and not really care, you know, if people judge me or whatever. I let it all be okay, and I just share me, and that's what people find to be very relatable and they appreciate about me, and what allows for them to connect with me. So this is really important, because this allows me to then create my impact. And the same for you, when you can let go of all that judgment, you know, towards yourself, towards whatever you've gone through, and you can just be okay with it, and you can just share about it openly. And I'm not saying like put your business out there like me. Like, everyone has to find like that fine balance for themselves, right? I'm not expecting you to be like me, but me personally, I just put it out there, which has gotten me in trouble sometimes with the people, because I talk too much. But I've learned to find boundaries. But you know, it's learning to be able to find that peace within yourself and your experiences and who you are, to share the parts that really matter, share the parts that are really going to allow for you to attract your people and create a positive impact in their lives, and to gain their trust, and for them to want to work with you. And that's why it's really important for you to work on these things and learn to be good with yourself and own your sense of self-worth around those experiences. You know, just be fine with it and embrace it, so you can, you know, connect with people in this way. So I hope that made sense. The third thing that they wanted me to speak on today is that, and this is super important for those of you who are wanting to step into a next level version of you in your businesses, is that a lot of times, those of you wanting to step into next levels do not feel worthy of stepping into the next levels. And so you don't allow yourself to receive the next level. And you don't feel worthy of the next level because you feel like who you are now is not that next level version of yourself. And so because you feel like you're not that next level version of yourself, you're not worthy of receiving the life, the results, the abundance of that next level version of you. So a lot of times people feel like, right now, I need to have made 10K months consistently, or 20K months, or I need to have this kind of level of success, so before I feel worthy of owning that and receiving that. And that's not how it works. When it comes to manifesting, and it comes to manifesting next level things of your life, of your business, whatever it is, you need to really own your sense of self-worth and be that next level version of yourself now, and really feel like that's who you are now, and you feel worthy of those desires now, to then step into those things, to own it. So that is what happens, is people hold themselves back from being able to create their impact, being able to step into that next level of themselves that can make that impact, because right now they don't feel worthy. So when you're an entrepreneur, you really have to just feel right now in this moment like you're this powerful being, this powerful leader, this influencer, this successful person. In this moment, you have to cultivate that deep sense of self-worth inside of you to be like, no, moving forward, this is who I am. I am the six-figure entrepreneur. I do work with these kinds of clients. I do have these kinds of launches and so on. You have to really own that here in the now and have that deeper sense of self-worth connected to that, so you can then come into alignment and manifest it. It doesn't work that way. You're not gonna wait. You can't wait to get those results first before you actually own that's who you are. It doesn't work that way. It's like people think that they need to see it to believe it, but you need to believe it to see it. So you need to believe that you're worthy now, here, before you actually get those things, to then get those things. And that is what keeps a lot of people back from really being able to make impact, is that, and have the lives that they want, is that they think a lot of times, I need to see these things first. I need to see these results. I need to have these kinds of clients. I need to have this kind of business first before I can feel worthy or believe that I'm worthy of it. It doesn't work that way. You have to feel worthy now. You have to feel like who you are right now, what you can offer now is good enough to receive these things now. And then you will get those things, right? So those are the three things that my guides wanted me to speak on today in regards to how your lack of self-worth is keeping you from creating your impact. Is number one. A lot of people make creating their impact, having the kinds of businesses that they want, the kinds of lives that they want, very conditional. They feel like they have to have more or do more or be more to receive more. And so they're constantly, putting all of these conditions: until I do this, until I have this, until I, learn this, I can't do this, or I can't have this, can't move forward. And you just have to know, like, no, I am enough now. I'm enough now in this moment to receive these things, to move forward. And that will allow for you to make progress. The second thing is, it's all this internal judgment that we have, consciously or unconsciously, towards ourselves and our past experiences, where we feel like, who we've been or what we have gone through and stuff isn't good enough yet. And we, hide those parts of ourselves. We don't openly show those parts of ourselves. We keep them hidden because we're ashamed, because we have guilt, because of whatever other issues. And that doesn't allow for us to then be more open to people. It doesn't allow for us to be worthy of making connections, of making that impact. And so we're not able to make that impact as a result. We have to let go of that judgment. We have to heal around those things in order to feel like we're worthy of what we want, even though we've had this past experience. And a great example that I have of this is, I have an amazing friend. She's an amazing six-figure business owner who was a single parent, and she experienced homelessness. And she's been able to come up from that, And this is why, I preach all the time. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. You can totally turn things around and create your best life, but you got to stop putting up excuses and defending your situation and justifying that, you can't succeed because you're a single parent. You can't succeed because you only have a single income household. You can't succeed because of X, Y, and Z. There's no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse, because I know people of all walks of life, and they have all come up because they stood in their power and they stopped making excuses and they did what they had to do to move forward. And so she's one of those people, and I love her so much. And I wrote a post on my personal page around money and scarcity and things like that. And she was totally agreeing with me. And I know she knows what I was speaking as truth, because she's lived it. She's been homeless, eating out of garbage cans and things like that. It got that bad, right? And coming from that position, she's able to know now, with what she knows, because of personal development work she's done over the years, that people a lot of times like to justify their difficult financial circumstances to keep themselves where they are. And they're never going to be able to transcend where they are if they keep justifying, why they're there. And so anyway, with that, I got off on a tangent, but with that, she could have been embarrassed to share that part of her story, to share that she was homeless, that she was, eating out of garbage cans to survive. And, she could have been ashamed of that. She could have tried to hide all of that stuff and not be open about it, right? Because, especially when we're business owners and we're, trying to empower people, we want them to have a good impression of ourselves. And she could have allowed for that stuff to, keep her from being more open about those things from her journey. But she didn't. She worked through her stuff around shame and guilt around that, maybe fear of people judging her, whatever it is. She worked through those things. And as a result, she started being more open about her story and sharing those parts of herself. And that has then allowed for her to gain people's trust, gain people's respect, to want people to work with her. And that's why she's successful today, is because she released all those different things. She recognized she was still worthy of the success that she wanted, of working with clients, of helping people in spite of her past. She was still worthy now. Like, having that experience in the past didn't make her any less today to have the life that she wanted and to work with people that she wanted to work with. And so she really owned that. She really decided she was worthy regardless of whatever happened. And as a result, she's been able to succeed massively, right? I'm so super happy for her because everything is going so super well in her life. She has a partner now. She's engaged. She has an amazing life, but she had to let go of all of that, worthiness stuff around that kind of stuff, and other things, I'm sure, that she had to work through from her life experience, right? To be more open about it and to make her impact, right? So that's why it's really important to work through that internal judgment that we have towards ourselves around, our shortcomings or what we've experienced, so that we can process that, let those things go, be more of our true selves and own our true worth and be able to create our impact. And again, number 3 is, when you're wanting to step into next level versions of you, you really have to feel worthy of those things now in order to receive them. You can't continue to wait to have the things manifest for you to believe that that's who you are now and you're worthy of those things now. And I see this a lot of times because I've been talking to a lot of people the last few weeks, and I've been getting messages for, quite a few of them around how they need to really believe in themselves. They really need to believe in themselves. They really need to own their power. It's not that they don't know enough. It's not that they need more education or whatever. They just need to really believe in themselves to step into those next level incomes that they want, to, have that success that they want. And a lot of times people don't believe in themselves because they don't feel like they're worthy of that success yet. It's like I might be trying to tell you, just imagine in your head, okay, listen, feel worthy of the 10K months, feel like that's who you are, like you're this boss and that this is your life moving forward. And this is the kind of results that you get. This is the kind of life experience that you get. But you don't really believe it, even though I'm telling you, like, just do this. You don't really believe it because you don't really have a strong sense of self-worth. You don't really recognize, like, yeah, I am really this person because of this and this and this. And you really own that internally. When you own it internally, then you can believe it. Then you can start becoming it. You can start showing up in life from that space, and then you get the results. But a lot of people don't really believe it because they don't feel worthy yet. They don't see their true worth in this moment. They don't see how they're already that person that can have that life, that can have those results in this moment. And they're still waiting for the clients to come in or to sign on certain clients or get certain results to finally feel worthy and believe in their success, believe that that's what they can get. I hope that made sense. So I really hope that this has helped you in some kind of way, even if it's just one thing that you took away from this. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below about self-worth stuff. If you're going through some self-worth things, please let me know, and I'm happy to help you in the video right now. I got this cup for you guys, but I don't think you can see this because it's kind of shiny. My light is blinding here. But this says here, you got this. And I got this because I needed to look at this to remind myself always, like, Stephanie, you got this. But also because I wanted to remind you guys, you got this. You can have the impact that you want. You can have the life that you want. You don't need to be more. I know a lot of times, oh, hey, Kate. Oh, yay, thank you. Yeah, I know a lot of times we think we need to be more than who we are to have the results that we want. Like, I know early on in my coaching career, I had a lot of insecurities that I needed to work through, a lot of things. And I would see other friends of mine who were super bubbly and energetic and amazing, and I loved them. And I used to feel less than them because I was like, oh man, I'm not as bubbly as them, I'm not as energetic as them. And I would compare myself a lot to them, and I would feel like, oh, that's why they're so popular and I'm not. Because I'm not, doing that. And it was, I'm not doing the things that they do. I'm not showing up the way that they show up. And it wasn't that, that was the reason. It was just that I wasn't seeing that who I was enough now. I wasn't really, I didn't really have a strong sense of self-worth to recognize that my own unique way of like speaking or the energy that I brought forward and things that I did was enough. Like I was so judgmental of myself, so harsh and critical. And I thought I had to be more. I had to be more energetic. I had to, show up in this kind of energy and stuff. Like obviously you want to show up in your best possible energy for your people, right? But I just felt like who I wasn't enough and I should be more like her and do these things instead of just owning myself and just being like, hey, like my own unique way of speaking and doing things is all good, right? And so that is what happens a lot of times when we're in entrepreneurship is we compare ourselves to other people and all this other stuff and we feel like who we are is not good enough now and we feel like we have to change how we talk or change how we express ourselves or change all these different things in order to finally be accepted by people, to get their attention and all this other stuff. And we don't need to do that stuff. We just need to be good with ourselves and to process, heal whatever we have inside of ourselves that makes us feel like there's something wrong with us or that who we are is not enough. And when we can process that, then we just give ourselves permission to be, and we can just show up from this space and connect with people from this space. And it all just gets to flow. So now I just, I show up because I'm good with myself now. And I just show up and I don't question myself anymore. Like, did I do that video good enough? Did I make sense? Oh my God, are people going to like me? Whatever, I own who I am, and sometimes in some videos I'm super energetic and other times in other videos I'm very serious and mellow. But that's just the way it is. And other times I'm just straight fire and I'm just like a motivational speaker, like in your face, like you're going to listen to me today and I'm going to change your life today. And that's just the many parts of me, and I've learned to become okay with all of that and to still feel worthy, in all of these different energies that I sometimes bring forward and just being like, hey, I'm good enough now, So that is what I wanted to share with you guys today. You're beautiful. Oh, thank you, Kay. I appreciate you. Actually, Kay says, I am beautiful just as I am. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Kay. I appreciate you. Hello. Showing up is so hard for me. Yeah, so that's really good. I want you to dig deeper into that because the only way to change things in your business, in your life, is by really getting to the root cause of issues, right? It's not about just recognizing what the problem is. It's about why is the problem there? What's going on there? That's what I teach people, is to like dig deeper into these things, because that's how you create massive shifts. So if showing up is hard for you to do, or being vulnerable is hard for you to do, then dig into that. Why do you feel like it's hard to show up? What are all the different things that you're telling yourself for why you can't show up, or it's hard to show up, or it's hard to be difficult? Dig into that. Keep pulling out whatever excuses and reasons that you have for these different things. Just journal it all out. And what I recommend from there, and this is gonna really help you if you do the exercise. This is not just to the person who made this comment, but this is to anyone who watches this video in the future, is that the way for you to see changes in your life is you have to be proactive and you have to step into things. You have to, do your part. So if this is the challenge that you're having, if you're watching this and this resonates with you, that showing up is hard for you, that being vulnerable is hard for you, that showing up confidently is hard for you, whatever it is, right? Then dig deep into that. List out why you feel it's hard, okay? And, maybe it's like you feel like you don't have enough energy, or you feel like your home life is getting in the way, or that people aren't interested in what you have to say. Whatever it is, just don't judge whatever you write out, just write it out. And then from those things, I want you to dig into them more. And so if you feel like you don't have enough energy, well, why don't you have enough energy? You have to be like a kid and be very curious and dig into these things and dig into that. So be like, well, I don't have enough energy because I'm always, tired from work, or I'm always tired because I'm taking care of my children. Well, why does that tire you out? And then keep digging deeper into these things to really get to the real reason as to why you're coming up with all these excuses, all these reasons to justify why you're not showing up, right? So I was speaking to someone recently. I was having a session with them. So I have mindset consult sessions for those of you interested. If you have a mindset block, you can totally reach out to me and book a complimentary session. It's 20 minutes where I help you to really get to the root cause of like whatever major issues affecting you, right? So reach out to me if you have questions. But I was working with someone and, they said that they were having trouble showing up to do live videos, and they know that they needed to do these videos to show up consistently and, maintain their visibility. But they were having trouble doing that because, with quarantine right now during the coronavirus, their children are at home and they feel like it gets in their way and so on. And when I really, dug deep into this with this person, that superficial issue for why they couldn't show up, which was the kids are in the way. Sometimes they're like loud, they're running around, they're, getting in the video when they're not supposed to be. That was like the surface level reason for why they couldn't really show up. But when we got into it, it was mostly because there were deeper things inside of themselves that they were kind of wanting to keep hidden. They didn't want to share certain vulnerable parts of themselves with the world because they were afraid of being judged. And they were using the kids as an excuse for why they couldn't show up, right? And so that's what happens is you have to be willing to dig deep into these things and to explore, like, why do you think that this is a reason for you not to show up? Or this is a reason for you not to be vulnerable? Like, what are you telling yourself? Because, if you feel like you shouldn't be vulnerable about your past, for example, then dig into that. Why do you feel like it's wrong to be vulnerable now? Or what do you feel is bad about being vulnerable or is potentially scary about being vulnerable? And going deep into that to see what the real reason is behind that. Just keep asking why and why and why until something really strikes a chord with you and really helps you to see, oh crap, this is what I'm really afraid of. This is what I'm really insecure about. And then that will give you the opportunity to then start working through that and to release around that in whatever way you need it. So this is really, really important for you guys. I know for me, for example, when it comes to lack of self-worth, let's see here. What story can I share with you guys about my own journey? Okay, this is a good one. Okay, I think everyone will resonate with this. So back in the day, I was so dependent on external validation. Like I really needed the external validation to feel good about myself, to feel like I was an authority, to feel like I had something valuable to share, and so on. And what happened was, back in the day, my Facebook community was not as engaged as it was today, or it is today. And I had crickets, basically. And that would make me feel so bad because I would be giving it my best and I would be excited to, share this information. And then I felt like nobody was seeing it and I just felt so bad. And then this made it difficult, for a little bit to want to even do videos or create content because I was like, what's the point? Nobody sees me. Nobody reads what I have to say or nobody watches my videos, right? And I had all of this, self-worth stuff I had to look at because it was making it really hard for me to show up and do what I love to do and to create my impact, right? Reach people with my message, reach people with my teachings. And I had to really do that because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, when we don't see these external results, we get discouraged and then it makes it kind of heavy for us to want to show up online. It makes us feel a lot of resistance to show up online because we don't want to keep getting rejected. We don't want to keep getting ignored, right? And in order to spare ourselves the pain of rejection and being ignored, we just find reasons for why we shouldn't be showing up or we can't show up right now. We're like, oh, I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. Oh, I have to get, dinner started. I have to do this and that. And that's really just the superficial reasons, the excuses that we give ourselves for not really showing up and doing what we have to do because, we just want to, pay attention to other things and not really see the true issue behind that. And when we can finally recognize, no, it's not because I don't have time or I have, all these other things that are keeping me busy, that are keeping me from showing up. It's the fact that I am not strong enough in my sense of self-worth. And because I'm not strong enough in my sense of self-worth, I'm allowing this perceived lack of engagement or lack of results to affect how I feel about myself, which in turn keeps me not wanting to show up. That's really what the real issue is. So when you can then work through your self-worth stuff and process that and heal that, then you don't care anymore about, people engaging with your stuff or commenting or whatever. And then you just show up as you. And then when you show up from that space of being connected to your divine worth, then you're able to make that impact because you don't care anymore. You're not dependent on other people liking you, applauding you, thumbs upping your videos or whatever it is. You just do you. You just own who you are. And from that space, you're in alignment to then receive more engagement, to then receive more interaction because you're you, right? And so this is what I learned along my journey that I wanted to share with you guys because this doesn't just apply to Facebook groups. This applies to everything. This applies to your sales content. When you're promoting an offer and you feel like people are not engaging with it and you feel like, oh my God, my launch is going to flop or this isn't going to work out because nobody's asking me about it or whatever it is. No, that's letting you know you're still depending on external things to validate your sense of self-worth. You have to do your healing around that to shift that and feel strong inside of yourself to still know you're going to get the success that you want. No matter if people don't openly comment or they're not openly engaging or whatever, you have to feel strong inside of yourself to know I'm still going to succeed no matter what. And then that's when you can create success from that space. But if you're trying to do it backwards, you're going to hold yourself back, right? So this is what I wanted to share with you guys today. I really hope that this has helped you in some kind of way. And yeah, if it has, let me know in the comments below. If you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed this video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, a like wherever you're watching from. Let me know in the comments below how this video resonated with you, what light bulb moments you had maybe from this video, and be sure to subscribe to my channel for more video teachings like this so you never miss out, and hit the bell button, the little notification thing, so that you always get notified for more of these videos. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate all of you so much. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video teaching. Bye. Take care.